Welcome back to this is actually section 10 of the book, Moving Chords, a Fourth, Ted Greene's Chord Chemistry. Get the book here if you don't yet have it. Link in the card above, link in the description below. We're starting right away, and we're going to start right now. Any chord that does not lie on all 6 strings can theoretically be moved either up or down a fourth, or sometimes both, by moving over each note in the chord 1 string at the same fret. The word theoretically is used because some of the chords arrived at are too hard to finger. A can be moved up a fourth to D, and D can be moved down a fourth to A on the same fret by moving the notes over 1 string in the directions of the arrows. However, notice that there is a discrepancy between the 2nd and the 3rd strings. Here's the example. We're starting on fret number 7, position number 7, with 3rd finger on fret 9 on the low E string, playing the 3rd of the chord. Then 1st fingers on fret number 1 on the D string, playing the root note. 4th finger, I'm using 4th finger on fret number 9 on the G string, playing the 5th of the chord. Then what I'm going to do is move up to, or basically up 1 perfect fourth. So each finger is basically moving up a fourth. So A goes up to D, and then that A, or that 3, or the 3rd of A goes up to the 3rd of D, right? So C sharp up to F sharp. A goes up to, the 1st finger moves up to a fourth to the D note, right, the root, so root to root. And then the 4th or the 5th of the chord moves up to the 5th of the chord. That's the 4th that we need to get used to on the B string, that relationship between the G and the B string. The following rule should explain this. When moving a chord up a fourth in the above method, any note that lands on the 2nd string must be moved up 1 fret. All other notes stay on the same fret. When moving a chord down a fourth, any note that lands on the 3rd string must be lowered 1 fret. All other notes stay on the same fret. Now let's do some examples here from page 56. All right, we're starting on position number 8 with finger 1 on fret 1 on the low E string. That's root, 5, root, and 3. Okay, good. We have that figured out. That's good news. Then we're moving on up to the F chord. Slightly different fingering here. And we're starting with the C, the root, the 5, root, and 3. And I'm going to move the root note up 1 fourth. Then I'm going to move the 3rd finger up 1 fourth. And then I'm going to move the root note again up 1 fourth. So we have, so far so good. Then we're moving that 3rd of the C chord up a fourth. Well, that's a major 3, do, re, mi. We want that to be a do, re, mi, fa, a perfect 4th, right? So we need to move that up 1 string and up 1 fret in order to get that, because the B is tuned a half step below, right? So here's that. And then let's do this again from the F chord up a fourth to the B flat chord. So we have the root moving up. That shape could move up again the same, but we really need to move that B note up another half step to conform to the shape. Everything else is the same. Now let's go down a fourth on that. Let's start at B minor or B flat minor on position number 8. So let's start here and let's move that down to F minor, down a fourth. What changed here? We moved from the root, the 5th, the root, and the flat 3. the root down to the root, the fifth, and the root, which the root would have been here on the B string. But because the G string, the D and the G strings are tuned in fourths, this makes it really easy for us just to kind of do that fourth like that, right? And then the flatted 3 on the top. So root 5, root, flat 3, and root 5, root, flat 3. Now let's do one more down a fourth. A7 on position number 7. So that's going to be the fifth in the bass, the root, the fifth, the flat 7, and then the 3 on the top. Right. Now what we can do here is just kind of do that same shape. See what happens when we move everything the same shape parallel down one string at a time. Everything moves one string. So we're going to go like this, and that makes this G string a little 1/2 step too high. But you likely already know this, and this is just adding a huge amount of effort into our daily practice, because now we want to basically know how to play all of these chords on root 6 chords, you know, root 5, root 4, and then maybe even some root 3 voicings. You know, that's really cool. So we've got our work cut out for us, but don't you worry. We're here for each other through this process. That's the good news. Incidentally, by moving a chord down a fourth, you arrive at the same letter name as if you were to move a chord up a fifth. Let's go from C up 1, 2, 3, 4, up to F. And then if I move from F back down to C, that's also a fourth. But if I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would also be a C. If I go up from F, that's also a C. One of the most important uses of this section is that you learn how to play the same chord with the same voicing in more than one place on the neck. Super important. Let's look at the first example chords once again. All right, here's the A chord on 7th position with the 3, 5, or the 3 root 5. And then we have the 3 root 5 again on the D. So here's A with the first inversion. And here's open position, an open voicing, and then the same root, the same D with a 3, the root, and then the 5 on top. So here's A with 3 in the bass, and here's D with 3 in the bass. Now notice that if you lower the D chord 5 frets to the 2nd fret, you will have an A chord, which sounds exactly like the A chord on the 7th fret. So in other words, we're going to move the A chord on the 2nd fret, C sharp, A, and E, or 3 root 5, to position 7 to 3 root 5. C sharp, A, E, C sharp, A, E. One is not like the other. One's a little brighter sounding, so keep that in mind. Using the same logic with the other examples, you will notice the following. All right, position 5, we have the A equals open A. The F on position number 8 equals the F on position 3, the D chord, and then the F minor on position 3 equals this shape here on position 8, and the E7 on position number 2 is the same as this E7 on position number 7. Experiment with this principle using other chords. It'll really help to give you insight into the nature of the guitar. So I'm Jason. Thank you so much for being here with me through this series. If you've enjoyed this series so far, be sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget, ding the bell if you want and be notified of new things. But this is the book you want to grab if you don't yet have it. Right here, link in the card above, link in the description below. And until we meet again, I wish you happy picking.